Hello. Just me, myself, and I here, waiting to have a chat with you guys. Dale from DaylesAddiction, for those who are new and may have stumbled across this live stream. We're going to talk about what we've learned from buying luxury today. I was preparing for this video and I had 5 things on my list, and I thought you could add a whole bunch more. And so why not do it as a live? Because we can. So we're doing it. It's 9 a.m. on Sunday morning here in Australia. So as you join the chat, please jump in. Let me know you're here, where you're from, what you're doing. We're talking all things we've learned buying luxury. So weird, this first part of the live stream, waiting for everyone to come on. And I don't have moderators and, hold music and all that jazz. Casey's here. Winnie B's here from West Tennessee. Chris, if you're having a coffee, I'm having a margarita at 6 p.m. Hey, it's margarita time anywhere. I'd join you if I wasn't on live stream and people wouldn't judge me. Oh, you're from East Tennessee, Winnie. Okay, that makes sense. Eileen, yep, this is my second coffee too, Eileen. Sophie from Washington, D.C. Casey's in Texas. Yes, I love this. I just love the fact that we're from all over and these pretty shiny things bring us together. Let me know as you enter the chat. Hello, Meredith. Meredith's batching it at the moment. Mr. Lux has just flown out for a holiday, and Meredith's going to have a work cut out for her this week for sure. Nikki from Belgium. Hi, Nikki. Catherine from Melbourne. Hey, Catherine. Chris, I've learned that things come back around. You never really miss out on anything. Yeah, that is a good lesson to learn, Chris, and we'll come back to that one. Ji Yon Lee from New York City. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining. You've missed the lives. You know what? You know why I did a live today? Because I was reviewing my wish list video for another video that I'll be filming, and I said that I wanted to spend more time doing lives this year, and ever since I said it, I haven't done any. So this is, by virtue of reviewing my wish list that I decided to do this video live. Erica from New York, how you doing? Good to see you. Meredith, you're calling it Snow Widow. I love that. Shamini from London, logging on after a few cocktails with the girls. Oh, I look forward to what you can share with us. This is so cool. Thanks, everyone, for joining. If you missed the first part when I was talking to myself, which most of you would have done, I was preparing for a video on what I've learned about buying luxury. And I had 5 things because I like to keep them kind of succinct and a little bit different to the typical. And then I thought, would this be a good live chat? And you could jump in and share what you've learned as well. Whether you're new to luxury or you're an old hat and you've been buying luxury for ages, I think these kind of forums are really useful. And certainly when I was writing my list, I'm like, oh God, if I could have told my early luxury buying self about these things, I wonder what would be different about my journey to date. JHW from Asia, it's 7 a.m. Cool. Well, I'm having coffee with you. No cocktails for me yet. Maybe a bit later. Had a few yesterday, though. It was a very fabulous lunch with Gary. And can I just say, I've brought Gary in to say hi, guys. But Gary copped some attention yesterday. Children loved him. A lot of men were actually really taken with Gary. I'd be walking around with him and I kind of hold him like this. And men were just looking at him, and I'm sure they were looking at me thinking I'm a weird person with a pet pigeon. And then as they get closer, they're like, why is she carrying a pigeon toy around with her? But when I put him on the floor at the restaurant, my husband was worried that the restaurateur was going to shoo him out. And then when the restaurateur came over, he was like, oh, and I said, it's okay, it's my handbag. And he said, well, in that case, and he brought a little chair over for Gary to sit on. So yeah, he was definitely a talking point yesterday. And the more drinks we had, the more things we found out we could do with Gary. And if you haven't seen my Instagram stories, go check them out. We've got Gary as a sunglasses holder kind of stand. We've got Gary eating chips. He can do lots of things. And I fit two lipsticks and my Chanel double facets mirror inside. I could have probably added, a house key, a key card, but my phone had all my cards on it. And I had Mr. Addiction with me with house keys and things. So he does fit cards, Chris. Yeah, just not a card holder. So you can put single cards in, but just a card holder won't fit. Out of curiosity, can Gary fit an iPhone? No. And I have an iPhone 12 mini that I bought for my tiny bags. And that doesn't fit inside Gary either. Even a Louis Vuitton clay, the little key pouches, that doesn't fit. So he's got an interesting kind of internal, if you can see in there, it's very curved and it's not so deep. So he's a bit high maintenance, but totally worth it. And yesterday when I was putting my outfit together, I really didn't know what I was doing. I knew I had to be warm, but I love when I'm on the water, I like not to look wintry. So I thought winter pastels was my vibe. And then I didn't want to look too I Dream of Jeannie with the sandals. Again, this outfit of the day is on my Instagram. So I went with my Gucci sandals, and then I'm like, what bag? Should I introduce a third color? And Gary's like the perfect neutral with my baby blue pants and my white blazer, and he has this pop of like violet around his neck. So I was able to wear my new Oscar de la Renta earrings as well to kind of pick up on that. I don't have them on now, obviously. So anyway, it was a vibe. I thought it was a vibe anyway. And it was a fun afternoon. And I've just been going on with a big monologue. Yes, I shouldn't have put Gary on the floor, Casey. I should not have done that. Okay, so should we get started? How long have I been prattling on for? 7 minutes. All right. So today's video, all about the lessons we've learned from buying luxury. And I want to go back to Chris's comment because he kicked us off and he says, I've learned that things come back around. You never really missed out on anything. And Chris, I think that's on my list as well. And I totally agree. And I think there's a couple of ways of seeing this particular lesson. One is that things get re-released. So if you think about Chanel's 21p caramel collection, that one came back twice, that color. And Chanel had never really repeated colors before then. And so that was a bit annoying, I think, again, because you buy Chanel colors in the flurry of saying there is real FOMO. If I miss out, I won't get it again. I'll have to buy it pre-loved and then I have to pay the premium on the pre-loved market. That did not happen with that 21p caramel. I think it came out again in 21K and it came out again last year, I believe. So yeah, I think that's an obvious one. Another one that keeps coming out is Fendi's sequin baguettes on exclusive pre-order. And I have talked about that before, that's fabulous for people who have missed out. And I really want people to feel how wonderful it is to have the opportunity to carry that bag, because if you grew up or you had a kind of moment with the Sex and the City series, that bag is just a nod to that point in your life. I think it is. And we all channel our inner Carrie when we carry it. So I'm happy that people have the opportunity to do that. What I'm annoyed about is Fendi saying it's exclusive when it's really not. So that's one that comes back around. But then you've got the angle of the pre-loved market, where if you don't get things on their first release, perhaps you might get a chance to pick them up later on. And some great examples of that have been this one that I recently purchased from Meredith's blog sale. Thanks, Meredith. This colour didn't come to Australia. And this is from last year's Fendi Spring Summer collection that launched in June. I mentioned it on my recent things I've been buying for my European holiday video. And Meredith didn't know that I bought this. And there's a reason that I didn't tell her. And that's because she would say, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. So Connor and I hatched the plan and Connor was just my hostage. He had to go along with it. Client vendor privilege. Yeah. And so this one, I didn't miss out. I was able to pick it up, which I'm really happy about. And also some more bag candy here. This Chanel by the Sea from 19S. Again, something that I would never have been able to purchase from my local Chanel store because I just didn't have the status to be offered a bag like this. And to be able to pick it up some 5 years later, 4.5 years later, was really a treat. And I really know I want it now. I've not been buying it out of FOMO. So I also think that's a great example of they do come back around. I'm just looking at your comments now. One other thing, Meredith said there was a conspiracy in the pea pod. One other thing that kind of links to that lesson is there will always be something else. And so when you feel like, you didn't have, you might have had several bags on your wish list and you had to prioritize, and all of us have to do that. Your funds just don't stretch as far as your imagination and your luxury handbag appetite. There will always be something else. And I can tell you with 100% honesty that I never really feel regret for not picking something up. I would more likely feel regret for buying something out of pressure and FOMO. And if you haven't seen today's unboxing, go check it out after this live, because this is the first bag where I really had the opportunity to sit on it and can not literally sit on it, but, sit on it and consider it for a couple of solid days, and really think about, was now the right time? And I'm so glad that I did. Okay, let's have a look. April says that she's learned that she should start with classic pieces I love, not too special or too trendy pieces, not classic pieces others love either. So there's a lot of specifics in there. Classic pieces you love that aren't special or trendy, but not necessarily the classic pieces that other people love. So if I'm interpreting that correctly, and feel free to jump in and, add some more context, April, would that kind of fall into the classics with a twist category? So, a classic bag, but in a unique color, for example, or a classic piece with a little bit of a seasonal twist? Because if that's the case, I am very similar. One of my things was don't buy classics because other people love them. So I think that really aligns with what you've said. And I have bought all the classics and I've sold them all too. And what I would call classics in my wardrobe now are in unique colors, or they have little twists from the seasons. They're things that really speak to me. So it's not that I don't like classics, because I obviously do like classic bag styles and shapes, but I do prefer them with a seasonal twist. Thank you, Kaylee. There are 3 of my new bags in the US, Chris. Are you talking about the new Fendi? Hey, Stella. Oh, we just did a big Gary intro before. He's right here. He says hi. Oh, dear. I learned not all bags that you think you would love always work out. Oh, my God. How many people can say that you thought you got the perfect handbag and then you were shocked when it didn't work out for you? Give us a thumbs up in the chat if that's happened to you, because that one that one is when you go, oh, I got it wrong. Like it's a real fail. And those ones hurt a little bit too, because they're probably ones that you've actually researched quite a bit, I would say. Yeah, there's a few thumbs up coming through. They're probably ones that you've researched, you've watched reviews on, you've gone and tried them on. They're really informed decisions, and then you don't pick them up, or they're not your preference compared to other pieces in your collection. I think they're the worst. They're the worst. And I don't know that you can, I don't know how you stop doing that, because they're really informed purchases. And I think that's probably one of the risky downsides of buying luxury, is that it's kind of like unexplained infertility, right? There's no explanation. You've done all the right things and no one can tell you why it doesn't work. And certainly that was my experience of that. and a weird metaphor to bring into a luxury bag chat, but if you know, you know. What are we looking at? Casey. I've learned to buy the bags that speak to me, not the ones that are blowing up online. I've made the mistake of buying bags on impulse because I got sucked into social media FOMO and I regretted it. Yep, thumbs up if you can give Casey some love on that one. My hair's a bit flat today. Get with it, Dale. Yes, the FOMO, one of my biggest examples of buying from FOMO was the Chanel, same season as this one, except I didn't pick this one to hunt down. I picked that iridescent pink small classic flap. God knows why. Like, I just thought it was the bag that everyone had and I needed to have it. And I hunted it down. I got a personal shopper to find it for me at the Sloane Street store in London. Paid a little premium, not too much, just for her time and sending it over. And as soon as I opened it, I was just like, oh, this is so not me. And lucky, that was one I again sat on. I didn't sit on it literally, but I held on to it for a little while. And then I was able to sell it and recover not only the retail price of the bag, but also the fees that I'd paid to source the bag. So I came out of it, you know, it didn't hurt me. It hurt my ego, but it didn't hurt my wallet. And I think that's probably one of the good things about Chanel, or it was back in the day, that if you did make a mistake with a Chanel FOMO piece, you could sell it. Yeah. Shamini, don't buy a bag that's similar to the one you want. If you can't afford it, you can't get it. Save up or wait. Oh, yes. Yeah, the bags that you buy when you just want to scratch the itch, they are the ones that cost you, because typically they don't have the demand that the bag that you really want has. And so the ability to resell it, and that's without going into the resale market in the current climate, but the ability to resell is harder because they're not as in demand, because everyone else is chasing the bag that they originally wanted. So that's a really good lesson. Don't settle. And that's one where you need a good close group of people around you to kind of keep you on track with your wish list or the piece that you really want. That's what I find my luxury friends and my luxury community where they really shine, is when I'm like, oh, I really want to scratch this itch. And they're like, no, stay on track, stay on target, because you will regret it. And yeah, I think that's a really, really good tip. Chris, I've learned that luxury is an investment. It's just often a bad one. If you're in it for the resale, you're in it for the wrong reason. Yeah. Yeah. And I know that I use investment, and when I edit videos, I know that I've used the word investment, and I know that I've used it in the wrong context. But I guess when I'm using it, I'm saying I've put a lot of money into this purchase. It's an investment in my happiness. It's an investment in my wardrobe. It's not a financial investment, though. And you're right. If you are counting on it or banking on it even, probably gonna hurt you more than it's going to help you. And that's a nice, let's ask Stella, because she's just said, I've counted recently, I've sold 35 bags over the years. So, Stella, on average, did you break even? Did you lose money on these bags, or did you make money? Tell us what your results were overall, if you can kind of come up with some themes, because that would be really interesting. Live. Not all bags you love and want to buy even come to the country. Oh my God, girl. I met Liv in Fendi recently, and she lives in regional Australia. And yes, Liv, yes, that's right. They don't come into the country. And I think Meredith and I were talking about this the other day on the phone, when I told her I had this one. Oh, spoiler. And we were talking about the fact that there was a China exclusive release for Louis Vuitton for pink monogram pieces. And we were saying that it's, why do the luxury houses not get it that the World Wide Web is worldwide? And then it follows luxury handbags and makeup and lots of things. But just because it's a season in one part of the world, it doesn't mean the rest of the world is not watching that brand's Instagram or website or their favorite influencers and wanting to purchase those pieces out of season. Who's to say that you can't buy out of season pieces if they're available everywhere? It's a really weird way of marketing, and I think they're cutting off their noses to spite their faces. So I know a lot of it's about the merchandising teams. I know particularly with Fendi, because that's the brand that I talk to the most, that the merch team are the ones that decide what they buy for the region and the country. And I don't know where they get their data from, because we are primarily a subtropical climate. Most of Australia is pretty temperate most of the year. There are some areas where it does get pretty cold and really hot, but the bulk of Australia is a pretty temperate climate. And we would be up for bags from all seasons all year round. And I'm sure our neighbours in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, across in Africa would feel the same way. And so it always makes me laugh that someone's deciding what we should buy as opposed to watching the market for what sells and then purchasing that. Winnie B. LV, bags can get you into trouble, but it's worth it. Yeah. I haven't gotten into trouble yet, but I've gotten a few weird looks, especially when I bought this one out of the box. But you're so right, Winnie. It keeps things spicy, doesn't it? Alicia, for me, it's a Gucci where I was obsessed with the pattern. It was too small. I knew it was, and I bought it anyway. Oh, that hurts. But I'm sure you loved it, even though it wasn't functional. It sounds like you loved it. April started with a Chloe Faye with beautiful patterns, and you regret buying it as your first luxury bag. It's no longer an it bag, and it has never been since. Yeah, look, my first Coach bag was a bit like that, but I wore that thing into the ground, and I have no regrets. Like back in the days where I had one handbag and that's the bag I wore everywhere. I would have bags for occasions, like I would buy little clutches if I went to events like balls and race days and galas and fundraising things. Makes me sound like a socialite. I was not. I was living in a regional area, and you make a big deal about those things when you live in regional Australia because they happen so rarely and everyone just wants to, be their best self. And so I've got like a big plastic tub of little clutches that I bought for events and fascinators for my hair. And anyway, yeah, what was I saying? What was I getting to with that? Oh, yes. But my one handbag that I used every day, that just got absolutely flogged, like to the point where leather was missing and it was a disgrace. And then I'd need to buy a new bag, not because I wanted to. Um, Yeah, Winnie, I think, yeah, some bags don't work for you and you don't know till after you purchase. And sometimes it's worth the risk, you know, if you feel like you can resell it and not lose too much money and, you know, really have an opportunity to see if something works for you, I think why not? It's when you take these risks that you it's not really calculated or you're not prepared for the loss. That's when they get a bit dangerous, I think. Casey, you just ordered the pink monoglam side trunk through a personal shopper. Oh, Meredith, are you listening to this? Maybe send Meredith a DM because she's got Louis Vuitton on it, and I think she's pretty confident that they will come through for her. But good to know. Nice work, Casey. Okay, Stella's back. She says Chanel she made money on, Louis Vuitton probably broke even, but the rest, like Dior, YSL, and Gucci, she lost money. I didn't try to sell to make money. It was more out of boredom with the bag and it didn't work out or wanted something. Yeah, I get that. I think you price them at a point where they will sell. And that's a smart pricing strategy. I think when you try and kind of get the top of the market for pieces, expect they're going to take a long time to sell, and people will expect the quality and all the bits and pieces to go with it, the conditions, and all the bits and pieces that go with it because they're effectively paying close to recommended retail. So I totally get you there. So you reinvested your money over 15 years. Okay, that's the 35 bags over 15 years. Nowadays, you definitely can't make your money back unless you've had a bag for 5+ years. Yeah, I think you're right. Everyone was telling me that I would lose money on my Lady Dior ABC, and I actually sold it. I recouped the whole amount that I spent on it because I had it for about 3 years and there'd been significant price increases over that time. And so, because I hardly used the bag, it was in perfect condition with all the bells and whistles. And selling it at the price I paid for it was like $2,500 cheaper than what it was retail at the time. So I can relate. Sapna, hi Sapna. The more bags you buy, the more you learn about your style, what works for you and what doesn't. Oh, yes. Totally relate, hard relate to that one. It's funny, I've looked at, there's a few video ideas I've been jotting down, and one is about my move to the top handle and the top handle carry. When I first started buying, I wanted a bag to do everything. I wanted it to crossbody on the shoulder, handheld, crook of the arm. And I seem to have moved into this top handle kind of situation. It's how I like to carry them. Maybe not for function, but certainly as part of the overall look and the shape of the look that I'm putting together. So I can totally relate to that for sure. And when I was looking at my bags and what to bring in here today, I realized that the only bags that I've bought for practical purposes, one of which was the Prada crossbody bag, which I have here, and I bought it for holidays, and it will come on holidays with me. But they're the bags I use the least. And all these crazy bags that are made of plastic and mohair, they're the ones that I love using the most. And now that I work, I really, really and I've always worked, don't get me wrong, but now that I work a 9 to 5, I really cherish the opportunities to pick a bag for whatever occasion that I'm going to on the weekend. It's so cool. I love it. And I'm glad that I have these pieces. Sapna, if you can, try the luxury item in store more than once, if you can, before buying it to see how it makes you feel. If it works and it brings a smile to your dial, it's amazing. You are so right. Oh, look, there's going to be an ad soon for some viewers. That's interesting. I didn't know ads ran on lives. Sorry about that, guys. Feel free to skip the ad. Yeah, and this is why I was so grateful to have the opportunity to really consider this peekaboo that I just bought, because a lot of the time I don't get to see these bags in person. And so you always have to put all the money on the line, get it, try it at home and then return it. But it feels risky to do that because your cash is kind of held up in this period of, no man's land, while the bag's in transit to you and the bag's in transit back to the store if you decide not to keep it. And it's a long time not to have your money in the bank. Not a great market for selling at the moment, Carrie K. Yep, totally agree. Connor's got quite a few of my pieces still, and I don't expect that they will sell quickly because I buy things that not everyone likes, and so the market for them is automatically smaller anyway. But yeah, I know a lot of people have mentioned that the pre-loved market has fallen. And to be fair, when I first started buying luxury, I thought the pre-loved market was a place you went to get a deal. Except for the odd Chanel high demand bag, but it was a place you went to get a deal, and it hasn't been that place for a long time. And I'm just starting to see it come back to being that place, and I'm actually really excited about it. I think that's how it should be. It shouldn't be, you resell for exactly the same price or more that you bought it for. Yeah, you made it to a live, Lily. Woohoo! Winnie says, it's a good learning experience for me if I can unbox it and then do some videos and it looks good on the shelf and then I lose a few hundred. I feel like I did well. Yeah, it's like you shared an experience with it. It's like that saying about friendship, for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You can do the same thing with bags, I think. At the end of the day, the Dales download that I did at the beginning of this week about don't put luxury on a pedestal, came from a comment from a video that I posted saying, how could you possibly enjoy 30 bags and what have you? And for me, yeah, once upon a time, I would have put luxury on a pedestal and it would have been, savored and special occasions only and kept for best. And now that I'm a lot further through that kind of experience, I think differently about it. And they're just another part of my wardrobe that I use to create a moment for the day for me and how I feel. And yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's fine. April has learned to take climate into consideration. Living in New York, shoulder bag in winter is impossible with a thick down jacket. Oh my God, a shoulder bag, I am finding it difficult with just a blazer, to be fair. My Carryall MM, I love it, but I tend to wear it more crossbody with my big oversized blazers for that exact reason, because they do slip off. Oh, it's a fashion file ad. How cool. Thanks for letting me know, Carrie, because I don't see them at this end, so I don't know. That's cool. I always wonder what the ads are because I get excited when I watch my fellow YouTubers and they actually get a fashion-related ad, and not like Poise undergarments or something. I'll throw another one from my list in and then I'll come back to yours again. One that I learned about purchasing my Galusha bag was, don't ask people's opinions on the piece, just on the thought process. So if I say, oh, what do you think of this bag? Should I buy it? I will get a bunch of different opinions, right? And on my recent Euro shopping video, I asked people's opinions specifically on a pair of pants that I was considering keeping. And I got so much helpful information and feedback for asking an opinion. But I would never ask an opinion on a luxury handbag because the price of it. And I'm like, why does it matter what anyone else thinks besides me? And I did ask my husband about it and he was like, it's not my favorite. And that just made me go, what, you idiot, why did you even ask him? Because I never do. I never ask his opinion on things. And so then that led me down another path and I checked in with some good friends, Eileen and Meredith and Connor. And I'm like, can you help me think through this? And, what was I really concerned about? And it was nothing to do with the bag and all about the opportunity cost of spending money on this piece right now and what impact that might have on holiday shopping. And I got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to be hunting for pieces on holidays. I've always wanted this color. I love this style. I love this brand. I love the texture. It's in my hands. It's amazing. And the only reason I'm not buying it is because of what I might miss out on. Like, hello, how ridiculous. So my view is, don't ask people what they think about the piece, but rather engage them in your thought process of whether or not you should purchase it. And it will be a download that's coming in the future around not raining on people's parades. It was a suggestion that came through from you guys around, what's in it for you to actually rain on someone's parade when they've purchased something that you might not really like and it's not your style? Why bring it down for them? Why not celebrate what's in it for them? Anyway, so that one's going to come later on. All right, Jennifer Lee, what have you got to say? Luxury bags, you have to pay to play. Oh, I love that saying. I made a mistake buying these beautiful strapped heels on sale. Only wore them once for an hour. No more luxury shoes for me. Lesson learned. Yeah, shoes are a hard one to resell, but people do. People do. And yeah, I guess it's around, well, do you want to pay anything or do you want the opportunity to kind of hire it? That's what I kind of call it. It's like a hire process, especially if it's for an occasion and you think, if I buy this now and I wear it for this occasion, I'm probably going to lose 50% of the price straight up. Can I deal with that and then sell it on, or just keep them in my wardrobe? And that's pretty flippant kind of conversation to have with yourself. But I think when you're buying this kind of stuff, it is flippant. So, lean in, embrace. If we were making smart financial decisions, we would not be buying luxury. I think we've covered that. Oh, Casey, you're considering my Cairns bag. Need to see if Connor still has it. He does still have it because I don't have it, Casey. So if you're keen, make him an offer. Alicia, I got an ad for the LG washer dryer. It must be your algorithm. Oh, that's hilarious. Thank you for sharing that, Alicia. At least it wasn't Poise. Let's see if the next ad that comes up is Poise. It's my fault, okay? Alicia also says, read the resale market. I remember the first time I dove into that world being very confused about why a Chanel bag cost more than used than new. I asked and the poster kindly educated me. Yeah, I had that same experience, Alicia. I was buying the jumbo. That was my first big one. And I remember the jumbo, to try and get it in store was a big deal. Yet there were so many on the resale market. And I was like, I don't understand how they're pricing these things. And the resale market, because there were so many, the prices were lower. But it was like I don't know. I assume there was some kind of what do you call it? Like it might have not been as elite to purchase on the resale market back in the day as opposed to what it is now. Now it's seen as savvy and smart, and you can get some really quality, well looked after pieces. They're not beaten up. Francesca, hi from the UK. Lorna, you got a toe fungus ad. Where did that come from? I'm loving the ad chat. This is hilarious. Casey says the bags that my husband has liked the least are the ones I love the most. Yes, I have that very similar experience. And it was funny, actually. I was really interested to see how he would react to me carrying Gary yesterday. And I said, let's get a photo together. He's like, nope. I'm like, can you just hold Gary while I, fix my hair? And he's like, nope. I mean, Gary is a little bit divisive. Here he is again, cameo. But I tend to have that experience as well. Liv says, you can always trust Mr. Addiction to come through with great advice. Not, oh yeah, look, it's funny because the motorbikes he loves the most are Yamahas. And I don't like Yamaha because it reminds me of Savings Brand because it's blue and white. And that's just where my head goes. And he's like, I can't believe you think they're cheap because they're not cheap. And I'm like, yeah, and these are dirt bikes we're talking about here, motocross. And he's like, they're not cheap. They're anything but cheap. He's like, which bikes do you like the most? And I said, well, I like Honda and I like the Suzukis and I like the KTM because they have colors that to me don't remind me of Savings Brand in the supermarket. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? But I just get triggered. Lana has put down the toe fungus ad to searching for breathable nail polish. You're probably right, Lana. You're probably right. Carrie, I've never, ever in my life asked my husband what he thought of my bags. Never will. I think it's the best way. Yeah, I agree. You can, and sometimes people can hurt your feelings without meaning to as well. So, best to kind of protect yourself from that if you can. What else have I put on here? So this is kind of similar to Satna's tip earlier. Don't ignore your feelings and first reaction. And I think that's one that I can talk about this mohair baguette with. Just look at it. It's just... Sapna was with me and Meredith and Connor when we went into the VIP room at Fendi Sydney. And I walked past this a bunch of times and I did not pick it up. And then when I did pick it up, it was like I was holding a baby, like a puppy dog. I walked around with it. I kept looking in the mirror with it. I sat down, I had it in my lap and I was just touching it. And then I'd put it back, then I'd go back and get it and I'd take some more pictures with it. And Meredith's like, just buy it, just buy it, just buy it. And I'm like, oh, I can't because the 25th reeditions are coming out and I don't know what's going to be released and I love it, but I don't know if I love it that much. And it's November. It's like almost summertime. This is ridiculous. And I put it down and I kept talking about it in videos afterwards. And you guys kept sending me messages on Instagram and in my video saying, Dale, if there's a bag for you, it's this one, you should get it. And eventually my fabulous sales associate at Brisbane Fendi, Bibi, she was able to track this down in Thailand, of all places. I mean, if we thought it was out of season here in Australia, surely it's out of season in Thailand. And it makes me so happy to look at it. And I'm so glad I have it in my collection. And I'm so thankful that you all encouraged me, that you could see the joy. And I think I was trying to ignore that because of other things. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to pick one up new from the boutique in beautiful, pristine condition, nice and clean, and really get to enjoy it. So I do think not ignoring your first feelings or your first instinct, if it's love or if it's, meh, then same thing, like react to that, really reflect on it, because I think too often we try and worry about what's going on up here instead of what's going on in here. What have we got here? Sometimes they knowingly hurt your feelings, Winnie. Yes, no doubt. No doubt at all. There's a little bit of feedback there for sure. Alicia, anytime I've asked my hubster his opinion, I get a variation of, you work hard if it makes you happy, or will you regret it if you don't? I love him so much. Oh, that's beautiful. And I have had very similar experiences also, but I think he's more inclined to say that when it's something that he loves as well. Not a plastic bird or a mohair baguette. Erica loves my mohair baguette. Yeah, I know. Erica, I was even thinking about pulling an outfit together with it yesterday, but we had Asian food and I was like, no, there is too much risk of some chili sauce flying off and going on the bag. So I've got to pick the right occasion to wear the mohair with the Roger Vivier boots, but it will happen. Kaylee thought the bag was a poodle. Another one that's on my list here is if you have multiple pieces that you are looking for, prioritize them. And it sounds logical, right? But some seasons, and you know me, I'm a seasonal bag lover, and I know a lot of you are too. Some seasons will present you with an overwhelming number of pieces that if all of your dreams came true, you would buy them all. And we can't. And how do you prioritize is the question. And I'm sure it's different for everybody. Some people are looking for what's the best deal I can get. Some are looking for the most versatile. Some are looking for a particular shade of, let's say, pink for barbecue, because that's relevant at the moment. Some are looking for a particular size or function or a climate that you're shopping for. What are the things that, you know, if you could have everything, I always say to people when I coach them at work, if you could have your perfect ideal, what are the criteria it would meet? And then everything after that is kind of a compromise. And then you decide what you're prepared to compromise on more than other things. That's how you can prioritize. And then down the track, as we talked about at the beginning of this live, then things come back up. And if you still love them and you're in a position to purchase them, then that's a really good time to jump in and, you know, grab them then. And perhaps take advantage of a little decrease in price, given that someone else might have loved them before. What other lessons have you guys learned? I'm sure there's a delay in the chats. So I'm just monitoring the chats and, you know, filling in the spaces. I will be doing, just while I'm waiting to hear from you, I will be doing a holiday browsing list, things that I want to look at whilst I'm on holiday in Europe and Dubai. But not a wish list. So it will be specific in terms of the items I want to look at, but it's not a hit list. It's not like I need to go and buy all these things. So that video will be coming. And I'm also going to do a wish list update, which I talked about at the beginning of this video, where I share with you how I've gone against my wish list that I put out on New Year's Eve this year. Well, technically last year for this year. And what was the other one? Oh, all the bags I've bought so far this year. And what it tells me about my emerging sense of style. I've been putting off making this video because I just don't want to admit to myself the damage that I have done this year. Winnie says, if I could just have the tiny, tiny Fendi Sunshine Shopper tote in brown, you'd have purse piece. I mean at this time. Winnie, I don't believe. Who are you trying to kid? Do you think you're talking to Bill right now? Because I am not falling for that. And I don't think Bill will either. Bill is Winnie's fabulous husband, and he makes an appearance on her channel from time to time. So if you haven't seen Winnie's channel, go and check it out. Sapna, I do still think about that Antonio peekaboo from last year. Yes, fashion does come back, but I really don't think that one will. I think you might be able to find that one on the pre-loved market at some stage, and I think you'll find it in perfect condition. I will manifest it for you, and you will feel guilt-free in purchasing it because it'll be for the right price at the right time, and I can imagine the smile that you'll be wearing when that piece finally lands in your collection. Akira, Dior's your top brand. However, since the major price increases, I've been looking at bespoke and custom handbags, and it's still a fraction of the cost. Yes. It's almost offensive how when you've been buying luxury for a while, you start to feel priced out of something that you really enjoy partaking in. And I think that was the essence of one of the Dale Downloads videos that I did, particularly triggered by the Fendi men's spring summer 24 collection. And there was that wicker baguette trunk that Connor had his eye on, and so did I, and so did a few people I knew, even though it was from the men's collection. And when that price came through, I was like, that's just ridiculous. And why? I just couldn't understand it. So yeah, bespoke and custom handbags. Look, to me, honestly, when I'm walking along through the streets of, Rome and Naples and various cities in Sicily and London and Paris, I will be looking for things like that. I will be looking for things that genuinely just make my heart sing, that might not have a brand on them. I'm looking forward to discovering those things more so than I am luxury shopping overseas. Of course, I'm happy to browse and have a look and see what's different and those sorts of things, but the urgency to buy, I don't think will be there like it has in previous trips, because we now have more access to the pieces we want here in Australia with our global connections. So it's annoying you don't get to see it in person, but you know that you can get hold of things really if you want to. Oh, waking up in the middle of the night from this heat. This is fantastic. Oh, I'm glad we could give you some relief. Meredith says, I've learned you regret what you didn't buy more than what you did. Yes, yes, yes. That's a line from, is it Californication? It's a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. Is it? I don't remember which song it is, but it goes, it's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do. And so I always quote Anthony Kiedis whenever I hear that. but I'm sure someone else said it before him. Kaylee says, Winnie, I love you, but you will never have purse peace. That's so true, Kaylee. Lots of people agreeing with Meredith. Yeah. Oh, hi, Ed. Thank you so much for being here. Meredith, I'm nothing if not an enabler. Yes, Meredith's the worst enabler. She's like, buy it. Actually, you were good when I talked to you about this one, Meredith. You were good. You did ask some good questions. You said, what do you want from me? And I told you, and you delivered. So you have it in you. You have it in you to push back. Winnie, Dale, are you putting off buying anything to save for the trip? Winnie, I am a shocking holiday planner. So my sister is a travel agent, and she always starts with the question, what's your budget? And I'm like, don't worry about that. I'll tell you what I want to do, and then you tell me how much it costs, and then I'll figure out what I need to cut. So that's where I start. And then in terms of like when I'm over there, I don't budget for shopping. I never have, and that's because I don't expect to do a lot of it, to be fair. I expect to be spending money on experiences and food. I will tend to pay for most of my accommodation as much as I can in advance so that it's not something I have to really worry about. And so then when we're there, it's just what are we filling our days with and our stomachs with? And if I happen to pick up a couple of nice things along the way, then it's, it's a combination of place and time and romance, really. So I was going to put off buying this peekaboo, this Galusha peekaboo that is, up on my channel as of this morning. And I thought, no. When I shop on holidays, it's like I'm browsing around, I'm seeing things, and if I love it, I will buy it then and there. And that's why I've got myself an Amex Platinum, so I can just charge away. Nora, I've learned I need to respect my natural color preferences. If the style I want comes in black, it's okay that I have tons of black bags already. Black is my wardrobe staple. That is a really great lesson to learn and share, Nora. Thank you. I 100% agree with you because, I'm wearing lavender today. And how many lavender bags does a girl need? Well, as many as she damn well pleases. Same with pink, same with black, same with whatever your color is, whatever makes you happy. I used to think that was silly, and I remember watching a few handbag channels like Saki Saki and Arisu Cookie, and Karis, LV Lover CC, and they just bought pink bags and never had any other colors. And I thought that's just so limiting. And now I totally get it. Not that I would ever have a whole collection in one color, but I totally get why. They just love it. They buy what they love, and they make it work in their wardrobe, and it makes them happy. So I think, why not? Good point, Nora. Good morning, Vivian. Lily got an ad for Expedia based on your recent vacation planning. I'm sure it was. Ed went shopping for bags today for 6 hours, and there was nothing that spoke to me. Isn't that a relief sometimes, Ed? Like, don't you just I love it when I'm like on a mission and I'm like, right, I've got money, I've got time, I'm going shopping, and I come home with nothing, but I had a really informed visit. I feel good about those days just as much as the days as when I come home with something. And it's probably more often than not, I don't come home with anything. I do a lot of reconnaissance shopping, I call it, where I go and have a look at everything and then I think about it for a bit. Winnie says, my purse biotches ask buying advice, but never take it. You and Meredith have a good relationship. Yeah, look, Meredith will always default to get it, but then I'll be like, yeah, okay, but can you be this person for me? And she will be. Yay to the Amex Platinum. That's, hey, and it's just a recent thing too, because I was like, I don't be wanting no limit when I'm on holidays. Thank you very much. Connor Bish, hey. Connor is he was annoyed at me for asking him questions about the peekaboo. He's like, what do you want me to say? And I'm like, I want you to help me make a rational decision. And he goes, well, can't you do that? And I was getting upset with him because he wasn't making time for me. Eventually he did. Francesca, Dale, your recent video on outfits inspired by and just like that was a game changer for me. It made me pull out every item of clothing in my wardrobe and put new outfits together and appreciate what I have. Oh, that's so awesome. That makes me feel like a proud mummy. That's so good. Like you can tell in that video that I was just running off of happy hormones. Like seriously, I was so excited to see what I could do. And I was just kind of scrolling my just like that wardrobe pictures and going, how could I do that? How could I do that? And I could have gone on forever. But now I have a full-time job. I can't go on forever. So I had to kind of cap it. But it's even made me think, like the recent blazer I bought that was inspired by Nick Snell, the Devil's Advocate. It's a men's blazer. He sent me a sneaky DM. And he goes, look what I've bought. I thought you'd love it. And I'm like, oh, I do love it. Send me the link. And I bought it. And when it came, I was just like, oh, this is like, Carrie was wearing a tartan kind of plaid jacket, and she had a different contrasting plaid kind of pattern underneath. I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a way to do that. And it's just made me think about mixing patterns so much more differently, and colors, and day pieces at nighttime and nighttime pieces in the daytime, and break all the rules. I love it. So I'm glad that you had that. You had a great time. Meredith, do we think 2 platinum Amexes equal a black? I don't know. You would know more about that than me. Tell me. I don't think a black and I would be a good combination. I mean, I could be responsible. I have to keep it away from Mr. Addiction. Ed came home with all his money and ate great food, so still a plus. Good for you, Ed. That's a good day. That's a good day out. Sapna, you made the best decision with that peekaboo, Dale. That bag had your name on it. And you, Sapna sent me a message. She knew that I was a bit annoyed about having to pre-order the bag. And, you know, I'm just like, I just don't feel anything when I saw the pictures. And she sent me a picture of her trying it on in the boutique and said, I'm not trying to tempt you. The photos don't do this bag justice. I really think you should have a look at it. And I was like, tempted. And yeah, then I ended up getting it. Connor, what have you said? The Amex isn't really Dale's. It's a fake card. What are you talking about, Connor? I don't have a black Amex. Connor and his honest, unfiltered opinions. Yeah, how about Connor make a video today instead of watching a live? Wouldn't we love to see a video from Connor today? Yes? Everyone give a red heart emoji if you want to see Connor put a video up this weekend. Because if he doesn't, this will be the third weekend that we haven't seen a video from Connor. Throw your red hearts out there. Yes, yes, look at them all. Take note, Connor. I love this voting with hearts. It kind of makes it less aggressive that we're using hearts to bully him into making a video for us. Connor, take a picture of this. It's a clear message. Oh, that's so funny. Thanks, guys. That's been fun. I'm at the end of my list. I thought, you know, I would spend an hour here. It's been an hour. I know some people haven't passive aggressive. I thought I'd open it up to some questions and then we might, you know, call it a day in about 10 minutes. How about that? Erica, Dale, do you plan to do any non-luxury shopping on holiday? Possibly. Last time I was in Italy, I bought a bunch of ceramics, like little antipasti dishes and things. What else did I buy? I think I bought some like napkins and like table linens and things like that. So quite possibly, yes. I tend to fall in love with all of those whimsical things that remind me of where I've been. Connor's media manager. Oh, he would be the worst. He would be the worst person to be an agent for because he's so stubborn. He's a stubborn man. And he makes me laugh way too much. I would never be able to like be serious with him. Show me the pink peekaboo, please. I will watch your video, but we are here and I can't wait. Okay, I will. So this is the fuchsia galusha, and I want to bring it up close so you can see these ridges here? And you can also see that there is actually, you can see my nail across there. There is actually like, this is the hide as it is. So the Bulgari pieces are very well sanded down. These ones, let me pull that out. These ones are not. They are in the fact that they are very like smooth and lovely and glazed, but it still has the very obvious kind of spinal thumbprint pearl. And I hope you can hear my fingernail rubbing against that. But that is the texture. It's just like unbelievable. Someone mentioned on my video that the stitching would drive them nuts. You can see that the stitches have gone around the pearls because this one, they're not sanded down as hard as what the Bulgari ones are. So if I pull it back here, you can see kind of the dimension of the bag a little bit more. It's really like, it's crazy beautiful. The other thing that is worth having a look at, just because it's easier to show you, is the strap. The strap is just like you can see how it looks like little crystals, but it's not. It's just, yeah, unreal. I'm just looking at all of your comments. He would turn up to film in sweats and Ugg boots like in your picture the other day. Yeah, Liv, he would. He would definitely do that. We actually filmed a vlog that night when he came over, because that video was from a little while back when, and just like that season premiered. And he never posted it. Never posted it. Any other final questions that you have before we close up the live, and then I can go and film some videos for the week ahead? I've got to get so organized with my time now. I can't just sneak in some filming, through the week, because I don't have time or light, to be fair. I'll leave it a minute or so. A little reminder for those of you who are considering submitting an unboxing for the subscriber unboxing this month. Just if you are thinking of doing it, maybe start thinking about doing it. We're at the 23rd of the month, so another 8 days until the end of the month. So if you did want to submit an unboxing, think about being a little creative, because you could win a DaylesAddiction handbag hook. But yeah, it's an absolute joy to put those videos together. So if you are considering it, you are encouraged to do so. How's the new job going? Everyone's asking. The new job is really no regrets. I'm so glad. It took me 2 years of thinking, contemplating about rejoining the corporate world and going back into being an employee instead of working for myself. And my business was a company, so I did not have employees though, because I did not want to have employees, because I worked in people and culture for long enough, and I didn't want to have employees working directly for me. I have a team in my new job, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about it, is that I get to work with really passionate, clever people who are keen to really deliver great products and services. So that's really fun. I'm loving learning a whole bunch of new things. I'm probably struggling with the lack of time I have just to think. I'm not getting a lot of that, but that's typical when you start a new role. So I'm looking forward to things kind of settling down a little bit and having moments to myself where I can kind of collect my thoughts and make it into something meaningful. But yeah, this will be my 4th week starting tomorrow. So I can't believe how fast it's gone. Kaylee, what bags am I taking on my trip? Yet to be determined, Kaylee, but I think this little baby will definitely be coming, because she takes up no room and gives me a lot of options, because really I'll be having my phone. I won't really need to take a lot of things with me, and I'll obviously have Mr. Addiction and his pockets, so we'll definitely use those. I think I'll take my Gucci Cestino bag, because it just goes from day to night really well. The Prada bag for the London-Paris part of it, and maybe my Fendi baguette in the mint color, because it goes with everything. Yeah, that's probably it. Maybe I could stack them all. Obviously, my Neverfull, that will be my carry-on bag. That's a few, isn't it? She got a problem. Oh, and the Prada Raffia beach bag. Yeah, there's going to be a few, Kaylee. Good question. Okay, well, that looks like all the questions. It has been so much fun chatting to you all. I'm glad I did this impromptu live. I always enjoy them, and I want to do more, and I will plan to do more, because, yeah, the chat is where it's at. So If you haven't already subscribed to my channel or given this live stream a thumbs up, I see that there's only 22 thumbs up and like 65 people. If you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that will tell people that we've had this conversation today and they'll be able to find the video more easily. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I'd love to see you back here for more. And yeah, we'll come up with some more topics to chat about in the future, because it's lots and lots of fun. So thank you all so much. More live chats, please. Yes, Casey. Yep, for sure, definitely. I'm going to go and do some, Sunday chores and a little bit of filming, because my camera's probably charged up now. So thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend wherever you are in the world. Stay safe and keep buying the bags you love. See you later.